So here you can see I've faired this piece of plywood, the center plank, to the chine. See how it's faired in? These are not. This one and this one and this one. So now I'm gonna fair these in, being careful not to hit these screws with the plane or whatever I use, the chisel, both. You can see all the way back there that's been faired in. Okay, this is the port side, the front. I already finished the back yesterday and took that back off. It's over there. It's been, had some penetrating epoxy added to it. But this is now ready to be taken back apart, and then I'll coat these pieces with penetrating epoxy, and very soon, all of this will be put back on with 5200. My earliest memory is riding in my grandfather's boat, arm over the side, hand in the spray. I've spent much of the rest of my life chasing this feeling. All of that has led to this, the wooden boat experience. And that is everything all sharpened. After doing all that work on the shepherd, stuff was getting a little dull, so put a good edge on it. Now I'm ready for the next thing I got to do with these beautiful hand tools. Gary just switched to the second tube, so the first tube went all the way through this area and down to there. What do you think, Gary? 5 tubes to do the inner?
Yeah, I think a little less, I suppose.
All right, back to work for me. I can do this. Have faith, Gary.
Do I not have faith? I got you living with me.
Gary thinks I shouldn't be doing this one-handed and filming with the other. Ready? Yeah. Look at that, beautiful. Couldn't have gone any worse or better. What do you think so far, Gary?
I think you need to put the camera down and keep going.
Okay, ready to put the first piece on the starboard side. And there's the 5200 on there. And there's the piece. And there's Gary waiting patiently. So we use 3.5 tubes to put the inner bottom on. Not too bad. Looks pretty fair. Let's get a better view. There we go. What do you think, Gary? Success?
I'm happy with it.
Over the last couple of years, you may remember several 283 flywheel forward Chris Craft engines. These are small block Chevys coming my way. First in this sea skiff, thanks to John, then delivered from New Jersey, thanks Tom, as well as parts from another place in New Jersey, thanks Steve. I'll be using parts from all three of these sources to create the engine for Miss Chippewa. The John Hacker hydroplane designed in 1932 as Hornet. Currently, the engine is in Winterville, Georgia, at Gabriel's Racing Engines, being rebuilt. They will deliver an assembled long block to me this spring.
The rear mount plate that bolts up here that covers these holes, and it actually has ports in the mount plate where the raw water pump sends the water through.
So it comes through here.
Yeah,
That's
it,
where the
it comes
cold water
in here, goes up through there, and exits out that hole in the head right there. And the way it's done is you actually have one intake gasket. It's got the cooling hole blocked off on the head because it's a it's a dual impeller pump. And so one impeller runs one bank and the other impeller runs the other bank.
Okay. The reason I'm saying that, lake water, I usually like to add about a half a thousandths clearance to the end of it, just the cold water in it.
Yep.
Because it won't heat up as much as the rest of them because it's
Yeah, because
cold water hitting first.
yeah, see, these don't have a thermostat.
So it probably wouldn't hurt to put a half a thousandth on all of it.
Right now, you're just boring it out, right?
I'm honing.
30 over. You're honing. So you already bored it?
I've already bored it,
Okay.
left about 4.
Is that a different machine?
Yeah, that's the boring bar, right?
Oh, okay. Well, you guys got it looking clean, don't you?
Yeah, we ended up having to blast it to get it. It was pretty rusty.
Did you shave the, so what is that surface called?
The head surface,
Okay.
head gasket surface. So we left about almost 5 in it to hone out. That's what we do. We've got a fixture in the machine, in the surfacing machine, that indicates the cam crank center line and makes it perfectly 45 degrees each way.
Oh, wow.
For a total of 90 degree gauge, but none of the Chevrolets are ever right to start with. They're usually off just a little bit. And that'll help get your timing events on each one and off the same and all that kind of stuff too. It's just a lot better. You just from your center line of your crank to your head deck all be the same. This is the rough part right here. So that won't be plumb steady till we get through. This actually files itself and 3.5. 3.5. It's still good and straight.
He does a nice job, doesn't it?
Have you seen this is our hot tank.
That I saw last time I was here.
That's our spray washer. I just came clean to the chemical out. It was muddy, dirty, and it actually got all that stuff off it.
So will this one look as shiny as those after you blast? Oh, boy,
Maybe.
the
This one's kind of got a lot more mud.
Is that red clay on there?
Yeah, it's a dirt track.
We don't have that problem up in New York.
Yeah.
Here's the heads right there.
These are them, okay.
See how the exhaust, we've already got guides in them.
Oh, yeah, okay.
And we already gonna bore these out 4 guides. We're just gonna knock them out and put new guides in it. And we're gonna upgrade the intake valves to a 4-barrel 305 valve from a
So you're going to enlarge those a little bit?
just a little bit.
Okay.
It really makes for a nice job on these motors with 1720 valves, intake valves. It really makes a nice thing.
Will this need to be surfaced?
We're gonna resurface them. We'll cut a 3-angle seat on it and probably open this up just a little bit because we'll be going from a 1720 valve to a 1840.
Okay.
Almost of 5,000 would be an eighth of an inch, so a little bit bigger. It just makes for a really, really nice setup. You can put bigger than that in here, but then it gets so shrouded right here on the wall, you're not flowing as much as the smaller valve.
Oh, okay. It constricts it.
Yep, it restricts it right there. It's called shrouding. Shrouds the valve a lot.
So, Daryl, what do you think I should do? Solid or?
For me, I understand for me. Now, you make your own decisions up. I wouldn't have no damn tolerance. I don't like to hear that thing going clickety, clickety,
Let's just
clickety.
put new ones in it.
Well, yeah, but
Here's cams.
New ones or hydraulics?
Hydraulics, new hydraulics.
yeah, well, how much are those a piece?
You know,
$14, $15.
How much the A17 cost?
Ain't no talking about
Go ahead.
that.
I don't know, just don't say they ain't that good.
Use cams.
Yep.
I'd put me a new cam in and be done with it.
Okay.
The rule of thumb is you don't put new lifters on the old cam, you don't put old lifters on the new cam.
Okay.
They've been doing it a long
Especially now with the type of oils that you get that doesn't have the zinc and phosphorus in it, ZDDP.
Uh-huh.
He said his motor was blowing oil. He couldn't figure out why.
I bet it was blowing a little oil.
Too much timing or not enough octane to get both. This is dyno rule.
How often do you dyno motors?
Comes and goes. Sometimes we'll do 2 or 3 weeks. Sometimes it may be a month before we do one. But depends. We got several of these right now.
That's pretty cool. There's a lot of videos online of people blowing their motors up on dynos.
We ain't never actually blowed one up in it, but one time, there wasn't a motor we built. The guy, he wanted the motor built. He built his own motor, wanted it dyno. So he did something with his rod bearings where he throws the rod out and hit the wall over here in the oil. It took us 2 weeks cleaning to get oil out. There was oil coming out the cracks in the wall. This is the resurfacing blocks. You see how it locates the cam crank center line?
Yep.
Now all you do is just take it and you pull it over against this side, resurface on the side, put it against the other side. I never even moved the cutter on the second side. That way I'm guaranteed that from the center line of the crank to here is the same, exact same on both.
Nice. So that's part of the blueprinting process as well. I didn't know I was getting blueprinted.
Yeah.
Nice. So how far in the process do you figure you are right now? Of the total process? Close to halfway, or?
I'm probably 65, 70%.
The assembly's probably not that bad once you get all this done, right?
Daddy still got to balance it, which I'll probably have all this done by the time he gets it balanced.
And then your dad balances. So you balance each piece by, you actually take stuff off?
You actually take and you weigh the rods, you weigh the big end, and then you weigh the total weight. So that total weight, you get all that the same. You weigh all your pistons, all your wrist pins, one set of rings, one set of rod bearings, and you make up a bob weight to go on the crankshaft so that as it spins, it'll simulate all that stuff being on there. There's even a weight for oil allowance.
Oh, wow.
It's basically real similar to balancing a tire, but it's a whole lot more precise.
Okay, sounds good. So when are we thinking we're going to be done? A month or two? What year?
Next year.
Next year. This is John Heydrich's other Hemi engine at Jimmy Grant's shop. You know, the one he mentioned in episode 16. Between Jimmy Grant, Daryl, Frankie, and everyone else at Gabriel's, you can be sure the Hydroplane 283 engine is in good hands. I'll see all of you next time in episode 18 of the Wooden Boat Experience. Which one of these goes to you, Jimmy? All these, you'll fall into that category?
He don't have nothing.
No, I think I've spent enough money.
I wasn't aimed at him. It's these other damn ruffians.